Okay, a little bit about me and my background. I started in middle school. I had like a friend whose sister rowed, so I joined in. We did not have a middle school program yet, so I was the youngest with high schoolers. I rowed in the summer and I just loved it. It worked out better for me than any other sport I had tried. So I just stuck with it. I rowed for Everett all through high school, got recruited to row for Washington, and then I unfortunately got injured after a year. So I struggled with that for another year on that team until eventually they just had to kick me off the team because I wouldn't quit. But I finished out college, came back to Everett to coach. So that's how I got into coaching. I loved it. I coached for, I think, 2 years until I had to get like a big girl full-time job. So I went into personal training and the gym industry. From there, I did just various things with kids and gym stuff, I guess. And then I actually moved to Arizona on a whim. Found ASU rowing, so I coached for Arizona State University a couple years, 3 years. Then I moved back home to Washington to have my daughter, who's now 3 and loves the boathouse here. So eventually I got the opportunity to come back to coach, which has been awesome. It totally worked out. I work from home on East Coast time, so I can come to practice after work. So that's been amazing. I love the team here. You just never quite leave Everett Rowing all the way. To be able to bring my daughter here, she loves the girls, loves rowing, is just amazing. And I think the cool thing about now is all of the coaches, we have all known each other for a long time. So there's a lot of alum coaching from my year, and then the other head coaches were here when I rowed. So it's just a really great, like, tight-knit community. No one really ever leaves. So that's how I got here and how I'm still here. So the sport and culture, I think part of what brought me into that and kept me here was, I think not so much the sport itself, but Everett Rowing is just a great community. It's like a family. Everyone works hard, everyone supports each other, cheers for each other. And it's just kind of a comfortable place to be. I think I never felt like I really fit in somewhere until I found Everett Rowing. And I hear that a lot from the athletes, which is awesome. You know, they kind of come in like awkward little kid, and through the years you get to watch them grow up and create these relationships, and it's just a really cool place to be. You just feel like you have a family here. So I think that's kind of what kept me here, and then you just fall in love with the hard work and the results that you get from it. I have had many coaches throughout my career as a rower, so I think I've sort of picked little pieces from all of them. And then as my background as a personal trainer, you know, getting feedback from clients and whatnot, I feel like that kind of has shaped how I approach athletes. The hard work that they are putting in, I want them to believe that they are worthy of that and worthy of their goals. I think a big barrier with this sport, because it is so physically demanding, is the mentality. There are a lot of mental blocks that pop up, especially with younger athletes, especially ones that maybe have not done a sport before. So for me, I want to support them, but I want to kind of teach them how to support themselves and kind of have that mental and emotional strength. I think the sport has taught me a lot about that. So I try to kind of instill those types of lessons into my coaching. What I really love about coaching is just being able to connect with individuals in how they receive coaching. So it's kind of like a puzzle, putting the pieces together, seeing what fits for this person and how this person is going to receive the message well. So I kind of like that part, trying to play the game of like, how should I explain this? Or, you know, you have to find 10 different ways to explain the same thing. And for me, that's fun. So that's kind of how I try to do it. I want to make sure that I'm kind of meeting everyone on their level of understanding and what they're ready for. So I like to be like the supportive, but pushing you in a supportive way coach. I think a pretty common hurdle or barrier for new athletes coming in is just how much work it actually takes. It's kind of funny, like young athletes that come in that have not done a sport before, when they start kind of getting nervous and freaking out about, oh, my legs hurt, or oh no, I'm doing something wrong. Like, you know, no, you're not. You're actually doing it right. It should hurt. It really should hurt everywhere. It should be hard, and you should not enjoy it a lot of the time. That means you're doing it right. So just sort of teaching them like true hard work to the level that's going to get us where we want to be. You can't, you know, expect to win a race, or everyone wants a medal. You can't expect to get a medal without pushing yourself to the absolute limit. So it's kind of conceptualizing that is a learning process. And it's cool once people get it and you can see it click like in a moment, then it just carries them through. So I would say that's the most common kind of teaching point for new athletes coming in. A big story of success that comes to mind when I think of athletes coming in is one of our athletes last year, actually. She rode, I believe, for all 4 years. I was not here for her novice year and all of that, but I was with her for her last 2 years of rowing at Everett, and I always saw so much potential in her, but I could just tell she didn't quite see it in herself. And we would talk about it as coaches, like, man, we want it to click, but how can we help it click? And she wanted to row in college. Nothing was really happening there. So I think it was just this last spring season, so just over a couple months, she really dug into her goal and she persevered. She had a lot of barriers that season. She was sick a lot, she was out, had some injuries, but the very last 2K of the season, an ERG test that we do to kind of rank where you're at, and that's what a lot of colleges will take as your full representation of your ability. Her very last 2K, she ended up getting the 10th fastest of all time from the Everett Boathouse. And I cried, I could not believe it. I knew she could do it, but just watching the struggle, and it wasn't even a physical struggle, it was mental. And it's something that as a coach you can see, but as an athlete, you can't really see that in yourself. You just have that kind of blind spot. So to see her break through that and actually see the number that she pulled on the screen in front of her, and then she ended up getting into the school that she wanted to row at. So that was amazing. That's just a testament to continuing to push till the very end. As a senior, that was her very last 2K. She could have just phoned it in, but she went for it and she got there. And I think faster than anyone, she went faster than I think anyone thought she was going to. So I would say that's one of my favorite success stories. Just seeing that growth was awesome. When athletes are really nervous and anxious about a race or a hard workout, I always go back to something one of my old coaches taught me. I remember it's funny because I remember the race. I remember where I was at when she told me this. We were waiting in line to launch, holding the boat, and I was really nervous. I would get so nervous, I would sometimes cry at the start line, but you always wear sunglasses so people can't see. But my coach said feeling nervous is the same physical response as feeling excited. It's just your mind telling you that you're nervous. So you feel the jittery, maybe your stomach hurts a little bit. That's the same that you're gonna feel if you're excited. So you just have to flip it and tell yourself, I'm excited to race, I'm excited to do well, I'm excited to try hard. You just have to keep saying that. So that's what I try to tell them. And I'll just say, I think they kind of expect it, and I'll just say remember, you're just excited, you're not nervous. And also, I try to explain, if you're nervous, that just means that you care. And so just think how lucky you are to be in the position to where you're gonna go do something that you care so much about. So I just try to frame it for them. I mean, I get nervous before races too as a coach, so I try not to tell them that, but everyone gets nervous. Keeping it fun while it's hard as a sport, it is a struggle. And with coaching, you have all these different athletes and they all want something different out of the experience. So you have your athletes that are here for fun. They don't really care about pushing to the limit. Then you have your athletes who just want to win. That's all they're thinking about. You have to find a balance a little bit. I think that, every day we have to work hard. We just don't have the time to play around if we want to be successful. So I try to create little opportunities for some fun, hard workouts. We'll do ERG relays where we pair them up in teams and they try to beat the other team, some friendly competition, but it's fun because it's energetic, everyone's cheering for each other, little things like that. And it's hard, but you don't really realize that it's so hard because of the environment that we're in. And then just trying to celebrate all of the wins. Every day is not gonna be fun. That's just the sport, that's just hard work. So, if they are making a good change on the water, if they are significantly improving, I try to celebrate that and encourage them to celebrate each other. Because just to get those little snippets of positivity and excitement through the hard work. I think as you mature as an athlete, you realize the hard work is the fun part, especially once you see the results coming from that. So it's sort of just bringing everyone up to that level of mentality and kind of, it's a bonding experience when it's so hard, but you have each other and you're in it together. I think that kind of I don't know if I would say that's fun, but it is valuable. Like a fun, silly type of story, I guess. This last season, I think it was maybe the varsity 8 or mixed a little bit, but we were just gonna have like a technical day, just an easy day. So we went into the slough, which is kind of off the river. There's not much of a current, so the water typically is really flat. When the sun is shining, like, it is beautiful back there. And it was funny because all these little things kept happening. Like, it was quiet, perfectly flat water, no wind, like the sun was shining. And then all these animals started coming out. We saw a beaver on the shore, we saw an otter, like birds were flying really close to us, and there was an eagle in the tree. It was just funny because we kept pointing it out, and we were just sitting there for a minute, like soaking it in. And I was like, I feel like a Disney princess, kind of like, this is sort of what that would feel like. And so we all started kind of taking that on and like noticing all these little things. It was just really fun. And it was a light day, so we got to kind of have that fun with it. And then every little thing that happened was like a little treat or a little surprise. So I've never seen a beaver on the river. That was my first time, so that was fun. I think I just stick around rowing because it has given me so much in my life, starting from 12 years old, all the way through, I guess, half of college. You just gain so much from the sport, and it's not the sport itself, it's not the workouts itself, it's what you gain from accomplishing things. And this is sort of a safe space to fail, so being able to find that failure point and then keep pushing it, you learn so much about yourself. I try to tell the athletes, as they go into big races, like, take advantage of that moment where you're gonna be in a battle with yourself. It really just comes down to like where you're at in your mentality. And if you can meet yourself in this very difficult space, you only have a couple minutes to kind of sit with yourself in that and push, and you learn so much about yourself in those moments. And I think those are the lessons that have helped me through my life overcome, difficulties or persevere through things and find like enjoyment in the process. I don't think I would have that without having the experience of rowing. Being able to come back as a coach and teach those lessons to the girls that just remind me of myself is such a blessing. And I feel like I can still, I'm still gaining all of those things from coaching and just from being here. So I really owe a lot to Everett Rowing for giving that to me. And I love to see the athletes find those things for themselves and kind of gather them. I feel good about creating an environment where they're going to leave at some point and just be a better, like more well-equipped person for the world. So I think that's what I love most about the sport and about Everett Rowing, is just how much truly you get out of it, and it just takes you through your life. A lot of people just don't know about rowing. So if someone is interested in trying, but maybe they're intimidated, they don't know anyone. I was in that position as a 12-year-old, coming into a high school team. So I know how that feels. We are also kind of hidden, like not a lot of people know about rowing. We're not associated with the schools, or, we're a little club team kind of hidden over here on the river. But once you step into the boathouse, everyone is so welcoming, and we truly, truly want you to be here. Every single person makes a difference. Even if we have an attendance issue, like a couple people are gone from practice that day, it does affect the team and everyone on the team. So we truly value every single person on the team. We want you to have a good experience. We talk behind the scenes about, like, we want this kid to stay. How can we make sure that they're comfortable and having a good experience? So just know that we truly see you and appreciate you being here, and we're gonna do what we can to help you be comfortable and learn. And once you pick it up, it's so much fun. We really love teaching. I think I can speak for everyone on the staff when I say we love teaching rowing, and something that we are all passionate about. So being able to share that and hopefully have someone that loves it just as much as we do, like, we want everyone to know about it and join. And it is really just a very welcoming community. And like I said, once you're here, you really never leave. So I think it's just being able to take that step. And that's the first step of your journey, right? Like, doing these hard workouts and going to races, that can be scary. You just have to have the courage. So having the courage to come and check it out, that's the first step. But once you are here, you're well supported. Like, we're here for you. We want to make things fun, so don't be afraid.
So I started rowing back in 2009, and through a series of just coaching jobs in Florida and just trying to pick up any part-time work I could, there was a full-time opportunity at a local program in Sarasota, and went full-time coaching back in 2017. Job opportunity opened up in Seattle, doing more community-oriented work, recruiting more diverse populations into the sport. That's something I'm really passionate about, so that brought me out to this area. And then back in November, I started here at Everett, and I'd worked with Everett Rowing Association in my role in Seattle, so I got to work with some of the coaches, work with some of the staff, and always really got a good vibe from this organization. So I've been very happy to be here and been having a really great time. So my personal rowing journey has been, wonderful, so rewarding and so impactful. I rowed on a pretty small team, pretty young team, so we didn't really do that well, but we had a really great time doing it. We built that community. We built, the guys in the boat that I rowed with were like my brothers, and we all just, supported each other, picked on each other a little bit, but we were always there for each other, and it ended up being this really, really great connective experience that helped me get through college and then helped me get through, my 20s. And so some of the lessons I've taken away have just been the sheer discipline, resilience. It's not always an easy time on the water. It's not always an easy time coaching or anything related to the sport, but kind of the idea of like, this is the goal, this is what we're working towards, and we're just gonna keep pushing no matter what. That has carried with me in pretty much every facet of my life. A lot of it is that, essentially that discipline, that consistency. Having a routine, I think, we know is beneficial to a young person and people of all ages. Having a set routine, having structure, having something they can rely on. I think also just the idea of this is how we can goal set, and we can, project out in the future and say, kind of create those SMART goals. What is something that's realistic and attainable, but also something that we can push towards as well, and finding the line between the two and finding a way to bridge that gap. So yeah, I think those are some of the big things, the goal setting and the consistency, and then certainly just a sense of community. There's a connection not only with the people in your boat, but something I've always heard is that the same rowing stroke that Olympians are trying to perfect is the same rowing stroke that a middle schooler is just now learning. So everyone's trying to work on the same thing. So there is this sense of connection with anyone in the sport. There's a sense of just shared knowledge of what is happening and shared experience. So that is a really great piece to the sport that, I think is not as present in other sports. As far as the structure of the program here, we separate out by age and experience. So there's certainly the middle school rowers, 6th through 8th grade. They participate at a separate location. It's a little bit more safe. It's on a lake. It's not as exciting, we'll say, as the river. And then we have our new high school rowers, the novices, and then we'll have our varsity rowers, so the most experienced older high school athletes. In addition to that, we have adult rowers as well. So we do have basically all age ranges operating out of 2 different boathouses at all hours of the day. And so we try to basically create this on-ramp at every point. So a middle schooler will come in, learn the basics in a much safer, easier going environment. And then as they move up to novice, they're challenged a little bit more, they're pushed a little bit more, they have more of responsibility within the team framework. And then as they grow and learn and they mature, then become a varsity athlete, that they're the ones really taking the lead in the boathouse, really setting the example for everyone else. And so we're really trying to tier the experience at each age group so that they're not overwhelmed at each point. So middle schoolers practice a little bit less than the novices, who practice a little bit less than the high schoolers. The intensity of the training is a little bit less intense the further down you go in age, but so we just essentially try to dose the challenge so that it's manageable, but it also helps them grow. Truly, the biggest advice is you're not alone. It's gonna be a little bit awkward. You're gonna hear terms that you have no idea what they're talking about. You're gonna see a bunch of different things and it'll be all new, but I know for me, the After my very first day, I was hooked. And it was a very tough practice, and I didn't know a whole lot, and I felt terrible, but I also felt really, really good and engaged. And so yeah, that would be my advice. When you're talking to an athlete prior to a competition, a lot of it is just setting proper expectations. A lot of it is, hey, this is, it's not like everything's gonna magically come together on race day. This is a product of the work you've been doing. If you've been putting in that work, you're gonna see a result on race day, whether it is a medal or it is just a really great row. That all to say that part of proper expectation setting is, hey, it could be not your best row, it could be not your best performance, but there's an opportunity there to dissect it and grow. One thing I always express to athletes is, what can you take ownership of? You can't control the weather. You can't control what's happening in the other boats, which is another wonderful thing about the sport. You can't slow another boat down. You can only go faster than they can. So you have to take ownership of your experience, your spot on the boat, what you're doing to make the entire team better. And it really comes down to like how you approach the exercise of competition, which is just another facet of the team experience. It's just like warming up, just like getting your equipment down. Competition is just another facet of the whole exercise of teamwork, and how you execute on that is extremely important. The magic of the boathouse, I think, is the family aspect of it. I think the idea that you come into a place and everyone comes sort of on level ground. You're not really praised for your individuality in the sport of rowing. Like if you stand out in a boat, that's not great. You want to mesh with everyone else. So there is that camaraderie, there is that connection, there's that sense of community. Everyone's working together. You kind of get lost in the whole group effort, and then that makes you shine as an individual outside of the boat. So I think that's part of the magic, is you create this family unit that's like really in tune with each other, really in sync, and then you take that, all the lessons you've learned here, and then you take that out into the world and you impact for the better your other communities. And so you see this really great ripple effect that really emanates from the center of the boathouse. So we get the word out about the program, essentially through a lot of traditional ways. So we get a lot of flyers out there, a lot of word of mouth. We host like learn to row events, a lot of our summer camps. That's one of the big ways that we recruit. So we put signs up everywhere we can. There's yard signs, there's signs up at parks, there's signs at all our boathouses, and then we just rely on our youth athletes and our adult athletes to get the word out. So really, we've been in operation for 40 years. So there is like a really good sense of, oh, these people have been here for a while. We know about them. I knew someone that rowed when they were in high school and they had a great time. And so we have the benefit of that momentum that's already been created. But a lot of it is just getting out there, getting the word out, being a part of the community, being present so that people just know we're there. Everett Rowing Association truly does feel like a family. I have worked at many boathouses with many different teams, many different ages of athletes, and this place really is special. From the day I stepped foot into the boathouse and started meeting people, everyone was so incredibly welcoming and really just were invested in my success, which is really nice. As a newcomer, I'm new to the region, I'm new to the boathouse, but coming into a place where people are automatically invested in how well you do is a really great feeling. So I would say that this boathouse, this community is actually pretty special. You can look us up online, everettrowing.com. We have all of our program information there. We're also on social media, Everett Rowing. If you just search that, you'll find us on Facebook and Instagram. And then, yeah, you can sign up for newsletters or what have you, but there's no shortage of ways to hear about what we're doing.